Serena asked me to come back. We had a talk, how many months ago was it? A couple months ago?
I think so.
Yeah. On keeping ourselves healthy as well as the seniors that you're working with. So this is going to be a little chat about how to work with all the areas of health that we can to help keep the seniors healthy and to keep ourselves healthy and kind of make examples of it. And you guys are, what are you, 12, 13 years old? So I don't know if you guys we're going to talk a little bit about what being healthy is, what happens to your body when it's not. We're going to touch on how food affects your system and why you need to move your body. I'm going to give you some examples. We're going to be a little interactive today. We're going to be up and down, just so you can see some things that you can do with your seniors. Now, have you been assigned to people? How is it working with this group?
We just did matching, so they haven't met them yet.
Okay. So they may be hindered by physical ailments. They may not be, so you just use this whenever you can. Now, do you guys know a lot about health and fitness, or do you guys? Yeah. So this is going to be a little redundant, but so too bad you just too bad you're here and you're fun. But you know what? This will be just good notes to remind you of different things to do, because it is fairly easy. It's on a list format. So, all right. So we can follow along. What does it mean to be healthy? Now, there are 4 main touch points. We want to have a lot of energy during the day. We want our blood pressure to be in line. Actually, we want all our numbers to be in line. You want to be a good weight for our frame, and understanding that that does change with age, hormonally. You guys don't know this yet, but you hit a certain age, things happen.
I know.
We want to have a healthy immune system and make sure that just because there's a cold that's going around doesn't mean we necessarily have to catch it. You know, if you have a good immune system, your body's strong enough to fight something like that off. Now, you guys have all 4 of these? You all happy with your weight and you keep healthy, your numbers are all in line? Okay, so let's go to the next step. What are the everyday symptoms of poor fitness? Fatigue. Do you feel tired all day long, even if you've gotten a full night's sleep? Now, granted, stress is going to affect you. Some people have financial stress. Some people have family stress. That will make you tired because it overtaxes your brain and your cortisol levels and fight or flight syndrome, things like that. But basically, if you're healthy, you're going to have energy during the day. Next one is inability to think clearly. Is your thought process a little off? Are you having trouble with your short-term memory as opposed to, what did I come into this room for? I do that all the time. That's half the time it's just multitasking. But you want to make sure that you and your charges are able to think clearly. Obviously, when you get older, your brain reflexes are not going to be quite as fast. You know, my dad passed at 92. He was sharp as a tack till he died, but it just took him a little bit longer to formulate answers. So you just have to realize that that's just a natural thing that happens as you get older. What else? Decline in your daily performance. You just can't seem to get everything done. And lastly, do you get sick a lot? The average person gets sick once a year, whether it's a cold or a cough, and it's done 10 to 14 days. If you get sick more than once a year, there's probably an issue. Does anybody know anyone that gets sick more than once a year? And do you find that they're unhealthy in one way or another? They either eat like crap or...
No, I think it's stress, and it manifests itself into this person being
Absolutely.
sick.
Yeah. Chronic stress causes all kinds of weird things in the body. Okay, let's go on to the more dangerous symptoms. Diabetes, metabolic syndrome X, stroke, and coronary artery disease. Now, we hear about these health issues all the time, but do you really know what they are? Who can tell me what diabetes is?
High blood sugar levels.
That's right, because of
Too much sugar.
not enough
Exercise.
insulin.
Okay,
90% of those with diabetes have type 2, and being overweight is a major factor for this. The good thing about type 2 diabetes is that it can be corrected by proper exercise, proper diet, things like that. Metabolic syndrome X. You guys know what that is? This one's actually a little bit trickier. It's a combination of disorders that can lead to heart disease and diabetes, like high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So it's kind of a grouping of bad numbers and a bad lifestyle.
And you said it can lead to heart disease?
It can lead to, yes, yeah, it can lead to diabetes and heart disease. 1 out of 5 people have metabolic syndrome X in this country.
Does it matter if you're overweight or not?
Well, it's going to be a major factor.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And it does actually get more prevalent as you get older, simply because most adults don't exercise, and they're like, I'm just going to have an extra pastry, or I deserve it. Yeah, okay, but you're going to have consequences. So this is what tends to happen. I lived in Florida for a while, in Boca Raton, and I don't know if you guys have ever been on the East Coast. Boca Raton is like all the Jews from the East Coast, and I'm a Jewish girl from the East Coast, so I can say that. This is where they retire to. So my ex-husband and I belonged to this golf club that was also a retirement community. If you belonged to the golf club, you didn't have to be 55 or older. And we would go in, and you have to eat a certain amount at the golf club restaurant. These people, there was this huge buffet, and they felt it necessary to have something from every single table.
Oh my gosh.
And it was crazy. And they even had a table that was for diabetics, desserts with no sugar. It's like, okay, you're not really getting the point to this. So all these things, you really have to be careful and be smart. And that's really how to make sure that you live a longer life. All right. Stroke. What's a stroke? I'll tell you. A stroke is when the brain gets deprived of oxygen. And that's usually because one of the arteries that leads to it is blocked by plaque. And that is usually because they have coronary artery disease. So, do you see a theme here? The body's an amazing machine. And if one little cog is out of whack, it just screws the whole thing up. So, all right, let's turn the page. Like I said, I'm just going to touch on the issues of food. 10 basic tips that will help keep you in line. You really can't have a healthy body without eating well. First of all, if you eat like crap, even though you exercise, and let's say you have pancakes with bacon and sausage for breakfast almost every day, and for lunch you have a smothered burrito, and for dinner you have fried chicken and mashed potatoes. How much different is it? Yeah, really, I'm not saying never have it. Hey, I went to culinary school. I love making this stuff. But I have it as a treat. If you have it all the time, you're not really going to see a difference in what you look like from that exercise. Granted, exercise does help burn calories, but it doesn't really do enough. 80% of what you look like is because of what you eat. Exercise helps you take up less space. And we'll go over all that for a minute. But okay. Never take seconds. Everybody make a fist. This is about the size of your stomach. Think about how much goes on your dinner plate. Now, I'm not saying just have this amount on your dinner plate because that'll feed a gerbil, but you want to realize that if you have a nice sized plate, that's fine. If you're not hungry, perfect, stop eating. If you eat so much that, I call that Thanksgiving full, which is coming up, you can eat like that on Thanksgiving. But most times, stop after one serving. It's really good, you may want more. You know what? Save it for next time. Put it in the fridge. I'm a big advocate of cooking a whole bunch of food and freezing it. That's the way to go.
Even if it's vegetables, never take seconds.
Are
Like, it
you?
doesn't matter what it is.
Why would you keep eating if
You're
you're?
not full.
Yeah.
If you're not hungry.
Yeah, I go by the 80% rule. When you're 80% full, stop. It takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your head that you've had enough to eat. If you eat fast, and well, actually, that's the next one. But it takes a couple of minutes for the brain to get the message, I've had enough. So you want to give your body that time, as well as give the body, let the body get used to being comfortable as opposed to being full. So, okay. Which gets to my next point, slow down. When I went to Penn State, and Penn State's a really big campus, and it would take me 20 minutes to get from one side of the campus to the other. Well, we only had 20 minutes in between classes. I literally wore roller skates to get from one to the other. Well, it takes 20 minutes to have the body realize, like I said, and so I would eat in about 3 minutes. I got nauseous, and I got into that habit. So even today, and because I do things really fast, I have to literally put my fork down in between bites to make sure that I eat slow enough.
You do great in the military, though.
Why? Because you have to eat really, really fast. You have to eat, what are the square meals where you lift it up and you have to do like this? Isn't that what they call square meals? But you also have to chew your food. It helps start the digestion because the mouth secretes acid before it even goes into the stomach. And actually guys are more guilty of that than girls are, so you have to chew your food more than 3 times, because that's not and this is good in case you have gentlemen who a little bit older who need reminding. Chew and take human bites. All right, don't skip breakfast. There's actually some new studies that say it doesn't matter if you skip breakfast in terms of calorie burning, but here's the thing. Most people who skip breakfast are ravenous by the time lunch comes, so they end up eating a ton more. So if they don't get nauseous, some people literally get nauseous, they just can't eat right away. But have a half a banana, have a scoop of peanut butter on some toast, something. The body has a process called the Krebs cycle, which basically jumpstart your metabolism. So if you keep going in the morning without jump-starting your metabolism, your body's going to move a little bit slower and it's not going to burn as many calories. So just get them or you to just have a little bite of something. All right, increase your protein intake. This is especially important for seniors. Because they don't move as much, they don't have the amount of muscle. And that's what muscle is. It's protein. It's also needed for brain function and cell regeneration. So you want to have protein at least twice a day. Doesn't have to be meat. If you're a vegetarian, you can have some cheese or some Greek yogurt. Quinoa has a lot of protein in it. Things like that. Almonds. I get these protein bars called Think Thin. They were actually originally made for diabetics, so they don't have any regular sugar in them. They each have 20 grams of protein, and they're between 200 and 250 calories. So they're not a meal replacement. If I get hungry, because I have breakfast at like 6 a.m. because I have early clients, by 10 o'clock I am famished. So I'll have a half a bar, and that kind of holds me over. But it's that 10 grams of protein that really keeps me fuller. And a nice bonus is that protein has something called a thermogenic effect. It actually takes more calories to burn to digest protein than it does carbohydrates or fats. So that's a bonus. So if you can, get your seniors to eat some at every meal if possible. Okay, number 5 is kind of a no-brainer. Make sure your food is nutrient rich. Watch the fast food. Watch the potato chips and candy. Any other overly processed food that has something that you can't pronounce. Run away. Run away. Easy on the sugar. Sugar's more addicting than cocaine. It's tough. You guys have a lot of sugar? You're giving me a face. You have sugar, don't you?
It's funny because that's my weakness. Other than that, I'm on a pescatarian diet.
Oh, okay.
But I pretty much kill my diet with the sugar. It's just like my
Because
weakness.
you can't eat just one. It's tough. And people who eat a lot of white carbs, white flour, white bread, that changes into sugar. All carbs change into sugar in your system, which is why it's addicting when you have a really good piece of bread. You just keep one. So that's what happens. Make sure you read labels to make sure that there's not a ton per serving. And even agave and honey, it's another form of sugar. I know that they used to think agave digested slower in your system. It really doesn't. So that's something that you might want to see. Stay away from fried foods. Again, I know they're really good. I'm not saying never. Make it a treat, not a habit. A treat is twice a month, not twice a week. Drink less alcohol. This is only if you have more than one drink a night. I love a nice glass of wine every so often. But if you have a few cocktails 4 to 5 times a week, that's a lot of empty calories. And those calories congregate in your belly. Why do you think they call it a beer belly? And again, the sugar thing. Alcohol changes into sugar in your body. Okay. Keep starchy carbs to a half a cup. Starchy carbs, you know all the different kinds of starchy carbs. Keep going. I mentioned. Yes.
Do whole grains count as carbs?
They are, but they are digested a little bit slower, but they are starchy carbs. Pasta.
Pasta, yeah.
Pasta, rice. First of all, if they're white, they certainly don't keep you as full. Make sure your meal is primarily protein and vegetables. And if you cup your fist and don't mound it, that's about a half a cup. It's actually not a bad serving. So just make sure that you put the protein and the vegetables on your plate first, and then starchy carbs last. And I keep a fairly low carb diet. Everybody has to have some, and I make it whole grain bread in the morning, or whole grain cracker, something like that. If I'm going to have it once or twice a week, at dinner I'll have a sweet potato that's about this big, or wild rice and brown rice mixed together.
Pasta.
Every so often I do. I made my boyfriend lasagna, but I put so many vegetables in it that it kind of makes up for the fact that lasagna, the noodles get digested. And I didn't have half a pan. I had this much. So it's within reason. It's just kind of common sense. Okay, number 10 is to stay well hydrated. As we get older, our thirst mechanism actually stops. So we don't always recognize when we're thirsty. And this is not a good thing because we really have to drink a lot more than we think we do. And granted, if we do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, there's a lot of water in them. So that does count towards it. So does non-caffeinated tea. If you drink coffee, your body is actually used to it. I have a fairly big cup of coffee every morning. I really like the taste, but that's all I have for the whole day. If you're used to it, it's not going to really affect because caffeine is also a diuretic, but if your body's used to it, it actually doesn't affect it anymore. So that counts. But you want to have between 6 and 8 8-ounce glasses. Okay, turn that off. That was
What on?
the little, oh.
What about
Anyway.
sparkling water?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. If you can have, it doesn't make you burp. It makes me burp when I have it.
Yeah, I think I kind of like it.
But if you like, yeah, that's absolutely,
It's not as
absolutely
easy
fine.
to drink as
Yeah.
regular water, but
But water plumps your skin, so less wrinkles show. It helps with, let's just say, all kinds of elimination, and it makes you feel fuller when you drink it with a meal. What I recommend to my clients is to, I know plastic has their issues, but if they have trouble making sure that they drink enough, I tell them go to Trader Joe's or wherever and get those 50-ounce bottles. And even if you have to put a little flavoring in it, Crystal Light, it's been shown that people drink more if the water's flavored, or lemon, or if you have a bottle this big, put this much juice in it. Not half, because that adds a lot of calories, but if it has a little flavor, that will help you drink a little bit more. I have this issue with, my mom is 87 years old, and she gets really proud of the fact that I drank a whole bottle of water. Yeah, she drinks water that, in the, you need one that's a little bit more than that, but I make sure she drinks tea all day. She drinks a lot of herbal tea. So all these things count. All right. Who exercises? How often? How often do you exercise?
3 to 4 days a week.
Oh, awesome. What kind of stuff you do?
Hiking, I'll do jogging,
Okay.
yoga, dance class.
Okay. Yoga's. I do yoga a couple times a week. I really like it. Is that the only thing you do for your upper body?
Generally, yeah.
You may want to add a little something. I'll go over some things. What do you do?
Billy, I do weight training and I play soccer.
Nice. Those are great.
Soccer.
What do you do?
I don't do anything.
Okay, that's not good, Larry. Just saying.
Well, I try to walk.
Okay, that's a start. Honestly, it's not enough. You want to start adding. Here's my little fact: 40% of the over 55 crowd gets no physical exercise at all, and that's actually a really dangerous fact because it can lead to premature death. And who wants that? So, these are 10 motivational reasons to exercise, Larry. Manages hormonal symptoms. Now, hormones affect everyone. Women have menopause, men have andropause. Our bodies change. We have a tendency to put on weight. We have a tendency to put on body fat. Most of that, especially for women, goes right here in the lower belly area. And we lose muscle at a faster rate. The good thing is, exercise can reverse all of that. Age is a state of mind. At the end of the month, I will be 54 years old. And no one ever guesses it because I exercise. Granted, I don't eat a lot of crap either, but the exercise makes a huge, huge difference. Okay, this reduces the risk for heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Now, those hormonal extra pounds are not just a wardrobe issue. Belly fat has been shown to increase the risk for heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Regular exercise decreases the risk for breast cancer and heart disease by 50% and colon cancer by 60%. So it makes a huge difference. And you want to exercise, by the way, just a fun fact, at least twice a week. And here's why. Because after 72 hours, your muscles atrophy back to where they were from the last time that you exercised. So as long as you do it at least twice a week, you'll see improvements. It pushes your metabolism higher. We touched on this a little bit. Your metabolism is your body's process for converting food into energy. And we use this energy to exercise, right? Well, the body, when it does nothing, it needs energy to breathe and to pump blood, things like that. That's your basal metabolic rate. And that's determined by how much you weigh and how much muscle you have. So since muscle burns more calories than fat, if you're overweight and exercise, and you're out of shape, you're going to burn less calories when you're sitting still. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn, no matter what you're doing, and you're also going to take up a lot less space. Muscle is about half the size of fat if it weighs the exact same thing. Pound of muscle, or I think it's 5 pounds of muscle is about this big. 5 pounds of fat is about that big. Huge difference. Reverses sarcopenia in the elderly. Sarcopenia is muscle loss. It actually starts around age 45. Muscle mass begins to decline at a rate of about 1% a year if you don't work. That's actually a scary fact when you stop to think about it. It's like no one ever realizes this. It's so important to keep your body moving. It wards off osteoporosis. 8 million women and 2 million men have osteoporosis. It affects women with smaller bones more because smaller bones tend to be brittle. So a calcium-rich diet helps, but weight-bearing exercises trigger something in the body called osteoblasts. And osteoblasts are literally bone-building cells. So I would rather have that happen naturally than have to take a pill every month. You know, they have that Boniva, and I think there's something else. But there's a lot of issues with that, too. Helps alleviate joint pain. This is a little counterintuitive because you would think if your joints hurt, I'm not going to move them. Well, it makes them stiffer. If you limit your movements, it also weakens the muscles around it, which makes stabilization and balance an issue. So that affects your joints even more, and so on and so forth. If you work those joints, there's something called synovial fluid around it, around every joint, and it's like the oil, and you want to keep that oil warmed up. So it actually helps with joint issues and can help alleviate some of that. Emotional benefits. You know what endorphins are? And serotonin levels, all those things. Feel-good hormones. You don't have to run 26 miles to get a runner's high. Exercise helps with depression, with sleep issues. Does anybody find that if they don't move, they have trouble sleeping? I have an A-type personality. If I don't move, I'm up all night. So and it helps with crankiness, because if you get tired, you get really cranky. And if you can, I don't know if you guys can get groups together to have either a Tai Chi or a senior yoga, something like that. The social aspect of exercising helps emotionally as well, because it's just a great connection. It also speeds up wound healing. I actually thought this was really cool. Exercise, because it improves circulation, can help wound healing by up to 25%. So if you get a boo-boo, you're going to heal in 3 weeks as opposed to 4 or whatever. So I just think that's very cool. Improves the quality of life. 50% of us, by the time we're 85 years old, will need help doing everyday tasks. Well, if you exercise, your balance is going to be better. Your muscle tone is going to be better. You'll be able to get yourself out of the bed, out of a chair, and you'll be able to be independent longer. 6 out of 10 people who break their hip from a fall never recover fully because they don't have good balance in the first place. So if you improve your balance, we're actually going to work on a couple of things that will help that. You'll be independent longer. And number 10, it helps memory. This actually goes back to the better circulation, because there's more circulation to the brain and oxygen to the brain. It just helps keep it going strong, and it's also beneficial in preventing dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, let's talk more about exercising. The CDC tells us that we need, at a minimum, 150 minutes per week of exercising at moderate intensity. What the heck does moderate mean? It's going to be something different for everybody. So if you're walking, you want to do it with a sense of urgency. You want to be slightly out of breath. You want to get out of your comfort zone. So if you're walking, you want to walk like you're late for a meeting or you're catching a bus, something like that. Okay, 5 types of exercise. Cardio. We all know what this is. Any activity that makes you huff and puff. It's good for the heart, it's good for the lungs, it burns calories. Let's do one. Everybody stand up, please. This is a really basic one that would be great for your seniors if they can't get up and around. Everybody bring their hands over their head. You're very tall, watch the light. Right now, you are burning more calories than you were when you were sitting. The body has to pump blood harder to reach the fingertips. It goes against gravity. So this is a good thing. Starting with this, now I'm just going to move over here because I don't have enough room. Just start marching in place, but exaggerate the knee lift. I know you're wearing heels, so that makes it a little bit difficult. But even this, if you keep it up while I'm talking, you're going to see that your heart rate is going to start to go up. And then you can do it faster, all different ways. I just wanted to give you an example. Okay, you can put your hands down. And your shoulders are probably tired. Okay, you can. Now, let's just say you need to sit, or one of your charges is in a wheelchair or has trouble getting up and down. You can also simply do a runner's arm movement. Arms or limbs as well. So when you move these, like this, especially even if you have 1 or 2 pound weight in it, it's going to keep your heart going faster, and it'll work your cardio. There's also something that is used very often in rehab called a UBE, upper body ergometer. It basically looks like a bicycle for your arms. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Yeah, those things are awesome, and they come in desktop models. Range from $40 to $150 or whatever. You can see them on Amazon, but it's a great way for people who have issues with their hips, with their knees, to just keep going. You can watch TV, but
I
it
think one
allows
of our
you.
members just went with one of their clients to go get one.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. You can also swim, if that's possible for you, for you or for him, because there's no stress or pounding on joints. All right. Strength training. Again, 2 times a week. I brought that point up. Every 72 hours, your body atrophies. Strength training builds muscles, keeps your metabolism going, and it's anything that places a demand on your muscles and bones. All right, examples. Calisthenics, body weight exercises, you can do these anywhere. So we're gonna do some triceps. Actually, let's start with the squats. This is a good one because I'm actually going to change chairs so that I don't roll. What happens when most of us sits down? When we sit down, we let gravity do it, and we just do this. That makes sure none of our muscles are being used. And seniors are especially guilty of this because they just want to get themselves in that chair as soon as possible. So I'll do it first. And then you guys are going to do it. You're going to bring your hands up in the air like we did, and all you're going to do is sit down to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then stand up immediately. 1, 2, 3. What you want to make sure that you're pressing with your whole foot. You don't want to just press with your toes. You want to press with your heels too. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If your seniors have issues, you can hold hands this way. The important thing is not to use your hands while you're getting up and sitting down. And you want to do at least 10 to 15 of these at any one time. You could do more than one set. Okay, let's do something with, what else? Oh, tricep kickbacks. Okay, women are always concerned right here that we don't wave 10 minutes after we stop moving our arms. All right, so you're going to lock out your hands, elbows, and keep them even with your body, okay? I'm going to bend my knees and lean forward slightly from the hips. Okay, you don't want to lean over. All you're going to do is press back as high as you can and hold for a count of 3, 2, 1, and drop it halfway. Press up, 2, 3, feel it? You should feel it at the top of your arms. Up, 2, 3, and then drop your arms. Once more, squeeze, and release. Good. I do this while I'm putting gas in my car, or you're just waiting, so I just kind of keep doing this. You can go in and out as well. There's a bunch of different things. But the fact that it works because it's just your body weight makes it easy to do it anyway. Okay. Then there are, hold on, let me see if what else? Oh, okay. So now we're going to use things, and I just brought these in. You don't necessarily need a gym to work out, because these are, weights come in, these are 4-pound weights. I obviously use these a lot. But you can use these anywhere. You can, if you don't have a lot of space in an apartment or home, you can use them. And you can do curls, you can do laterals, press up overhead. If you're strong enough, or if your seniors are strong enough, have them hold the weights while they do the larger exercises. So does anybody want to try exercises with these? And these things are awesome to travel with. Stretch bands, you can try this. This is a good one. You're going to wrap your hands around the edge, and you're going to, with your elbows locked, you're going to pull straight back and forward. What this does, because we're always at our desks or at a table, we tend to hunch. And what happens then is that your chest muscles become foreshortened, and you want to stretch them out. So what you want to do is strengthen the back muscles here and give the front part of your body a little bit of a stretch. So elbows locked, and you're going to bring it back as far as you can go. So give it a shot. Give yourself a little bit more room so that, there you go. Try that. Arms locked and bring it all the way back. Feel that? If that's too easy, then you can move your hands in.
Move them forward.
Closer together so you get more of a stretch. This is a test. All right, give it a shot. Chest high. Is that a little more? I mean, this is an easy one. Good. Do it again. Good. You guys want to try?
Sure.
Share! And there are a lot of things you can do. Yeah, you have to try it a couple times. Feel that? Mm-hmm. That I actually give to almost all my clients, this sort of exercise to counteract.
Where do you get things like that?
You can go to Big Five, you can go to Sports Authority, Sportcello, any good sporting goods store has a ton of them, and they range from what equals like a 5-pound resistance, or 10 pounds, or 15. The thicker they are, obviously, the harder they're going to be.
They have these at Target too.
Oh yeah, they have them. Yeah, you can find any of them. Feel that? Keep those elbows straight, chest high. There you go. Good. So that's a couple of those. Now for you, that's good. Now, take a step back from here. Okay. When you bring it to the side, bring it slightly behind you. Perfect. Now, I use slightly behind. Now he's coming perfectly parallel with your body. Before, you were coming forward because, like most of us, you're slightly rounded. When you think back, you're going perfectly straight. There you go. Awesome. And you never want to go past parallel, because then it starts to work your traps, and we don't want big traps. You want to work the shoulders. Great. Okay. Next, what do we have? What do we have next? Water workouts. Water workouts are awesome. They have these great styrofoam weights that look just like this. They're actually a little bit bigger. But when you put them in water, they resist the water. And they're actually pretty hard to use. So those are great if you have people who have issues with their joints and need a softer type workout.
You know, I once had a back problem, and I needed 2 canes
Mhm.
to walk, cane in each hand.
Yeah.
And I went for therapy many places and many times, nothing helped. And then I forget how it came about, but I asked the doctor, the orthopedic, to refer me to aqua therapy. I went to aqua therapy, and in no time,
Awesome.
I just didn't need any canes. I was 100%.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
That's great. And did they have you work with aqua weights or?
Well, the aqua therapy pool is, you know, a special type of pool where I think the depth is maybe like waist high or so. And they gave us things to hold, and we'd go like that, and it would be the water resistance.
Right, right.
And
Cool.
a lot of different exercises they
Yeah.
taught us in the water.
Yeah, yeah. It's great when you can, when you have the option to do that, and it's not right for everybody, but when you have issues like you do, the aqua therapy is fabulous. All right, core strength. The core is more than just your abs. The core is your whole trunk. It's your spinal extensions, which are right on either side of the spine. It's your obliques, which are basically the intercostals. You know when you eat ribs, you're eating intercostals. It's yeah. Thanks for the visual, Rona. Awesome. I'm gonna go have some right now. But it's all these are helpful in keeping your spine erect and your posture good. A good core can ease back pain. And okay, we're going to do another exercise. Everybody stand up. And this is surprisingly difficult. So, hands over the head once again. This is obviously my core position, pun intended. Bend the knees. Keep your feet about hip width. And all you're going to do, keeping your nose forward, lean to one side, hold, and then come up, and then lean as far as you can to the other. Not so easy, is it? Then come up. You do this 10 to 12 times, it's pretty hard. Feel that in your side?
Yeah.
Good. Good. This is a great offshoot to just doing regular crunches. Regular crunches is actually not the best thing you can do for your abs, because most people grab and they pull their neck and they get too much momentum. A plank in yoga, probably one of the best things you can do. And then you can make that harder by lifting one leg up. You can, when you're down, you bend the knee, bring it to your elbows. Those type of things. Those are awesome for core strength. Okay. Let's go on to balance. We are gonna stand up again, so I apologize for getting you to sit down, but you need to work, because I can't remember what I have on here. You have to work your balance every single day, especially over 50. And this is a really simple one that we're gonna do. I'm sorry, I'm
There's
gonna make
nobody but you over 50 here.
That's right, I know. And, you know, this is LA, so officially no one's over 40. So, I don't know how that works. But if we stand up and lift your left leg 3 inches off the floor and hold it there. Exactly. Not so easy. If this is easy for you, I'm going to make it even harder. Close your eyes. Changes everything. Yeah, yeah. That's your proprioception. Proprioception is the body's way of knowing where it is in space, and it's really hard when you lose one of your senses.
But with both feet down with my eyes closed.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So if you can get your seniors to work this, just simply standing on one leg and hold to a count of 10. It will improve their balance exponentially. Look at you. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that we want to do. Before I get you to sit down. Okay, we can sit. All right. Now, balance gets affected by gradual changes as you grow older. Weakened and flexible muscles, slower reflexes, eyesight affects balance. Inner ear problems, neuropathy, heart rhythm, all the things that a lot of seniors have. So you want to obviously find out what kind of issues that they have and start them off slowly. Every year, 1 out of 3 people over 65 falls because of balance issues. So that's just a little not so fun fact. Okay, flexibility. You want to stretch 3 to 4 times a week. Personally, if I didn't take yoga at least twice a week, I would be guilty of not stretching enough. It keeps you agile and limber, it saves your muscle elasticity, and it reduces, say again?
I love stretching.
Yeah, I just get out of the habit, and I have to, it's really, for me and a lot of people who do a lot of weightlifting, it's a habit that is necessary because weightlifting does constrict muscles. So here's one that we're actually going to stay in the chair. You're going to sit up straight and put one foot forward, flex the foot so that the toe is pointing towards the ceiling. Sit towards the end so you can lock your knee up. You ladies have longer legs than I do. And what you're going to do is bend from the hips and lean over as far as you can, and you should feel it in the hamstring, back of the leg. Good. This is a good one for seniors. And come up and just do the other leg, just so you're even. Good. You can also do things, if you sit all the way back in your seat, you can grab your knee and pull up, and this will actually work some of your lower back as long as you don't round. You got that? Lean back. There you go, perfect. And then, yeah, work both of those. And I'm not going to make you do this right now, but similar to when we were standing up and leaning over, if you do that same action, holding on and standing, I'll just do it sideways here. This will stretch the entire side. So that's just a larger one that is easy enough and will give your seniors stability. All right. Some last just group of points to get people started. Start them slow. If they haven't done anything, you don't want them to be sore so that they'll never do it again. So just start them with 10 minutes a day. Get them used to doing something. How much you want to bet they're actually going to start to look forward to it, because they'll feel like they're doing something for themselves. And do it with them. And then work your way up 30, 45 minutes at the most is all they need. And just do it 5 to 10 minutes at a time. If you're with them twice a week, start with 10 minutes, and then the next week go to 15. I don't know how many days a week do you work with your charges?
A couple days, 2,
Okay.
3.
Yeah. So whenever you're with them, that's what they get to look forward to. And make it fun. Be reasonable about what your body can do. You can't expect these people, some of them were athletes.
Go hiking.
And yeah, you want to treat your body with respect, but don't be afraid to push it out of their comfort zone. And I actually have a story about this. I told this last time too. Last year, I was in the gym doing squats. Now, I'm pretty strong for my size, but, okay. Like I said, I'm 53, almost 54 years old. So I'm not 35, I'm not 25. This woman comes up next to me. She's all attitude, And I'm actually in better shape than she is, but she had me by a good 20 years. She's throwing the weights on. She picks it up and she starts doing squats, and I'm thinking, okay. And I matched her. And and we kind of nodded to each other with respect, and I walked into the ladies' room, and I'm like, oh my God, and my knees were screaming. And my ego got in the way. It's like, I did it, and I couldn't do a thing for the next 4 days because my knees were hurting so much. Because, I ran track in college, I played tennis, my knees are wearing down. I just can't do it anymore. So, yeah, you gotta get the ego out of them.
Something like that happened to me not too long ago,
Yeah.
because I just, I was releasing a possum that I had caught in a trap.
That happens to me all the time.
Well, I was up at the top of the hill
Uh-huh.
that we call in Culver City, and I ran into this fella, and he said, "Oh, we're having a free exercise at 9 o'clock in the morning." So, the word "free" is a big thing.
It's better than sale. It's my favorite 4-letter word. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I said, "I'll be there." So I was there, and it was a Herbalife training exercise they have every Monday at 9 o'clock. Maybe you'd be interested. And anyway, everybody, there were probably about 30 people in this, and everybody was maybe 20 or so, and they did all kinds of exercise.
And you tried to
And
keep up, right?
I tried to keep up, but I was out of it for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, oh man, I was really hurting.
Yeah, and there's no reason why if you should keep going to that, just do half of what they say. Or if they say, okay, I want you to do 20 reps, you do 10, or you just do it a little bit slower. I don't want that sort of thing to stop you from going back, but now that you know what your level is, you got to start slow. And I can guarantee you, if you do it every week and add one more thing during the week, you will see a difference in your strength, your mobility, and your balance within the month.
Yeah, but you really gotta, it's like
Yeah, but-
choreography, you
yeah, but-
really gotta,
No excuses.
you really gotta keep up with them. I mean,
Was it like an aerobics dance, a jazzes thing? Hi.
No, but it was, they do so many times this and so many times
Right,
that,
right.
then they move on to this other thing. I mean, I guess I could be at the last row and
You
be
do what you can.
inconspicuous.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that you're there, no one will make fun of you if you're doing it, if you're trying. Okay, make yourself move every day. Just do something to keep active, whether it's taking a walk or doing some curls and squats while you're making a meal. And just make it purposeful, like you mean it. Be nice to your knees, something that I obviously didn't do. If running's too much, hike, swim, something like that.
Walk.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Slow down.
And if you are started, if you're working on things, these help a lot. Write it down. Put it in your calendar. Put it in your daily planner so it's scheduled, just like a doctor appointment or a hair appointment. You're more likely to do it if it's written down. Don't be afraid to kick it up a notch. If you've been doing the same thing for a couple of months, your body hits a plateau. So if you walk a mile in 12 minutes, try walking a mile in 11 minutes. Or try going for a mile and a half. Change it up a little bit. Challenge yourself. And if people have goals, they're more likely to do it because they have something to reach for. Count your steps. Anybody have a pedometer? Get one. They're not expensive. They're 10 to 15 bucks at any sporting goods store. And start with 5,000 steps. 5,000 steps is 2.5 miles. The optimal is 10,000 steps, which is 5 miles. And that includes going up and down stairs. If you do go up and down stairs, and you have the flexibility to do this, skip a step. It also works your butt and your legs more. If you press with the whole foot. You don't want to press just with your toe, because that will affect your knee too much. If you're wearing heels, it makes it a little bit harder. I'm a big heel wearer too, because I'm in sneakers. I like to dress like a girl and I wear heels like this. I don't really I don't try to skip a step if I'm in heels, but if you have flats or 1-inch heels, fine fit, just concentrate, and it'll also make your heart go faster, it's better cardio.
In Culver City off of Jefferson, they have the famous steps. Have you been there?
I've been there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, oh,
Well, I go to the I live in West LA, so I go to the Santa Monica steps and do that, because that's,
There.
Oh, you mean going down to the,
it's off of San Vicente on, there's a set of steps on 3rd and a 4th and a set of steps on 7th, and they're like, I think 3 or 4 stories high. So, yeah, you'll always see, the fire department goes up there, so that's always fun watching. But anyway, so it's just really, but I digress. Yeah, okay. Multitask your exercise. When you're brushing your teeth, how many times, does this look familiar? We lean, we just, yeah. Pick your elbows up off the counter, do some squats, march in place, do something. Walk around the apartment while you're brushing your teeth.
I always walk around and
Yeah.
open my windows.
Exactly, good. And then if you're cooking something in the kitchen, do some push-ups on the counter. Little things like that will just allow you to get some exercise in during the day.
yo tengo una servente.
I don't know what that means.
Want a beer?
No,
Cerveza, right?
servente.
I want to what?
Yo tengo una servente.
What's cervete?
I have.
Servant.
Ah, okay. Okay,
So I don't do the cooking.
there you go. Awesome.
I don't do anything.
All right, this is a really interesting study from the National Institute on Aging. They looked at 302 seniors for 6 years, and they checked their activity level. The most active burned a little over 2,600 calories a day, and the least active burned about mid-1700s. And the results were that those who burn more calories and who move more were 70% more likely to be alive by the end of the study. That's incentive for me. They found that for every 300 more calories you burned, you were 30% less likely to die. Your mortality rate dropped by 30%. And those seniors who did more active things, it's not necessarily exercising per se. They were gardening, they were washing their dog, they were sweeping the stoop. They were just active. Exactly. So I hope this has helped you just get some ideas for what you need to do to keep yourself and keep the people that you'll be working with more active. So anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Yay!
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.